Hey, how you doing? This is RJ. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm just going to do a straight up review of Project Superpowers number 3. But before I do that, I just want to show you something. This is the only book that I bought in the last 3 weeks, and the only new book that I got a physical copy of in the last 3 weeks. Here's a stack of my dollar comics that I've gotten in the last 3 weeks. All right? This is a stack of comics I'm paying $1 for that are regularly like $3 off of the shelf. All right? And some are old, some are new, some are Marvel and DC, some are not. But, you know, this is the future of comics. This is where you're going to find all of these things that are on the shelf right now that aren't selling. In dollar boxes. I mean, and I didn't spend too much money on this. This is like, what? A little more than $20 worth. That's a good stack of comics there. And, you know, we got old ones, we got new ones, we got Marvel, we got a whole bunch of different stuff. I'm just thinking to myself, this is the state of comics today, right? That these are all the comics that I'm buying. But I only bought one physical new copy of a book. And if that's the state of comics, I can see why people are going out of business. Because these are the kinds of comics, even though they're dollar comics, and they're ones that are in the dollar bin, that are better than what's on the shelf right now. But to give you my review of Project Superpowers, I really like this book. Tell you right off, I really liked it. I didn't think I was going to, because the last issue, number 2, it had aliens coming in. And I really liked the story up until then, and I really thought that aliens was going to basically ruin the story. Because you already have magic, you already have superpowers, you're going to add aliens into the mix. I thought, that's going to be just a little too much. All right? You should concentrate on the story that you have. But actually, I really, really liked it when I got to sit down and read it. And first of all, I love this cover. I really do. And the great thing about the cover, see, this is, of course, this is Dynamite, so I really hate the fact that Dynamite has all of these multiple covers. But the fact is that here's your multiple covers for this issue, right? And I gotta say, to me, this main A cover, which is what I got, was the best choice for all the covers. And they put it on their A cover, which I'm really glad that they did that. At the very least, they got that right. Now, this is a really good story. All right? I'm going to read you just some of this, because this is how comic books should be written. There's no politics in it. There's no nothing. It's just a great up story. It's a great villain. Here's your villain. His name is Pandora. He says, "I have conquered so many worlds. It was very easy. Those with rudimentary technology feel they can fight. They launch their weapons to the heavens. I could destroy these missiles, of course, but why bother? I have nothing to prove. Simply remove their means of flight deems them powerless. Changing the planet's electromagnetic field disables their technology. There's a purity to this, you see. It means that any race, in their final hours, returns to who they truly are. They can face me as their gods intended, and if they can defeat me, well, I would die at peace." What an opening. This is amazing. And then you got your splash page in the second page. And he keeps on going. "But none can, and none do. Only the strongest survive in this universe. And you are not strong enough. Only Pandora is." This is the way you start a book. This is amazing. This is amazing art as well. Look at that. That's beautiful. All right? It's a beautiful cover. It's a beautiful opening. It's beautiful art. And you have the main part of the story, which you continue on from last issue, where is the spirit of the American flag has chosen a new host. And she got injured in the last battle. And Black Terror and the Scarab are watching over her in the hospital bed. Now, again, I love the way they do this when they introduce the characters here in the book. Because every time they introduce them, okay, here's your third page. Every time they introduce them, they make sure that they have not only their names, but also their names in the way that you would see it on a cover. This is the way to introduce characters back into the mainstream that have been gone for so long. This is how you get people interested in these characters. Detail. Small attention to detail that really, really pays off. And again, beautiful art. Look at the green llama. This is amazing. And the thing is with this book, well, I want to do a straight up review, but I got to say something at the end about this book. And you have, again, here you have Samson and Masquerade, which they had to change her name slightly in order to keep it into the book. But again, there is a slight change in the art quality from the first couple of pages to some of the other pages, but not enough to make it anything less than still very beautiful. Extremely beautiful art. And this story, again, there is a lot of talking, we'll say a medium-sized amount of talking in this book, but it goes through really quickly because they're concentrating on the story. Everything they say, well, at the very least, Samson's a little bit funny, ridiculous funny, in a good way. I mean, I really like it. Again, you got these splash pages, you got your heroes looking like heroes. I mean, this is amazing. This is what a comic book should be. And Samson, he gets into this discussion with Masquerade about his father and how he actually killed the Philistines with a jawbone, and she didn't believe him. And he goes, why don't people believe me? People should read more. And then they have this next page here, which actually made me laugh. I'll probably make this the cover of the video, right? Read books. It is important. Okay, this is Samson fighting these aliens. And again, I thought this whole alien thing would probably throw off the whole feel of the book and just make it too complicated. It did not. They have done it in a way that is extremely well done, especially tying into the fact that it's Pandora's box that these heroes were trapped in for so long. And they made it that Pandora's box was actually basically something like alien technology, that this alien, Pandora, had lost. Someone had stole from him through magic. And again, I can't say this enough, but I really like this book. Really do. And I'm going to have to skip a couple of pages, of course, and I won't spoil the ending of it as well. But there's also a very good subplot in here about the fact that the Scarab, who uses technology, he's basically, I would say basically, the version of Iron Man for this kind of universe. I'd say a combination between Iron Man and Blue Beetle, or the new Blue Beetle at the very least, right? So this is an amazing book. This is great. This is the way comics should be. I really am not impressed with a lot of what Dynamite does in order to sell their books and how they produce their books, but this is amazing. And here's the really sad thing about me having to read this book. I started to read it, and it took me about, where did I start? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was about 6 pages in. And I got 6 pages in, and I was really liking the book, but I wasn't excited about it. Because I realized on about page 6 here that I had to drop my guard. That's what modern comics have done. That's what modern comics and most of this stuff coming out from Marvel and DC have done. They made me put up my guard so much that even when a good comic book comes out, I have to just consciously drop my guard in order to enjoy it. Because when I got to this page, I dropped my guard and I started to enjoy it, not just like it. Because I am always just waiting for the SJW nonsense to come out. I'm always just waiting for the artist to change and it to look like garbage. I'm always just waiting for those subtle hints of something which make me just turn me off the entire thing and make me not buy any more of the story whatsoever. And I just realized by page 5, after reading 3 books, because he had number 0 too, after reading 3 books, and I'm on 5 pages into this one, I finally dropped my guard and started to actually enjoy reading comics like this again. Because I enjoy reading comics like that. Right? I mean, I'm going through my old stuff. We're talking, well, there's some newer stuff here, and some New 52 and some other stuff, but, I enjoy reading, Spelljammers and Turok and stuff like that. But newer stuff, because I don't have to hold up my guard for this stuff, this old stuff. I know that it's going to be good, and if it's not good, it's $1. But I know that I don't have to put up my guard for all this nonsense that's going to be thrown at me. Newer books, I have to put up my guard. And that's the really sad thing about comics. And I think that's one of the things that's really killing the comic industry, killing the sales. Anyways, hopefully I've given you enough of Project Superpowers now so that you go out and buy this book. This is really good. And this is actually, I really like the fact that I get to read these stories and these heroes in this book, because I'm also reading Public Domain at the same time, which has the same kinds of heroes. It's like reading an Elseworld. I really like What If and Elseworlds and things like that. You know, I like main continuity as well, but especially since I started to get back into comics, since things are jumping all over the place for me with my dollar bin stuff that I buy, you know, we got Dark Wolverine, and we got stuff from New 52, and we got, all the stuff from Marvel, Ultimate Power. You know, they're basically, I'm just reading them like as if they were What If books, or as if they were alternate world books, right? And I get into the story that way, and I really like them. When I read stuff like this, and then I'm reading Public Domain at the same time, it's like I'm reading two versions of the same story. It's like a what if, and it's really fun. This book is actually selling me on liking Public Domain more and more. Even though it's a different company that's writing it. Different people, certainly. Different art, different style, different kind of story. But this is the way you get people interested in these comics. You make them beautiful. And you make them enjoyable. So, as always, hit like, hit subscribe by hitting the shield on the lower right-hand corner of your screen, and leave me a comment. Give me some books that you would want me to review. I might get to them. I know I have a bit of a strange schedule now for books and for reviews and everything else, but I'll see what I can do. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.